A corrupt government cannot liberate the people. If the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also. I do not support corruption. Corruption takes money away from children's education. It deprives hospitals of basic necessities. It means that roads are not fixed. Corruption deepens inequality. It siphons off taxpayers' money to make a few cronies richer with the political connections instead of benefiting the people. This government has been doing everything it can to weaken and undermine the Integrity Commission, which is an institution that I designed as Minister of Justice and brought the legislation to Parliament to fight corruption in this country. I have said it before and I will tell you again. Jamaica cannot move forward without a government built on integrity that embraces principles of good governance in this country.
A blessed good day to you, my wisdom warriors. Wagwan, wagwan. I hope you guys are in good spirit. Well,
I say to the people of Western Hanover, hold stream. I will continue to advocate for you to ensure that the resources get to you. Ministry of Labor asking you to step up, partner with agencies who know what to do. Ask the government and other state ministers coming into the space, communicate and coordinate. Because if we're not doing this together, we're wasting resources. I'm going to ask persons out there, my donors, I want to thank you and ask others to come on board. We are at the phase now where people need homes. They need their roof back on. We have started an initiative, Help Me Fix My Roof. Because despite we know that the structures that we have are not necessarily the ideal, but the people need somewhere where they can live. They need a roof over their heads. And so I ask donors to come on board. The government not doing enough, and they seem like they don't business about Hanover. They have a responsibility to the people of Western Hanover, and I'm asking the government to step up and do what they're supposed to do, while I implore and ask donors to come on board and help the people of Western Hanover to fix their roof. This is not politics. This is humanitarian. People are hurting, their lives and livelihoods have been damaged and lost. I thank you.
So I got a news last night. Everybody should listen. Listen, please. Jamaicans, especially Jamaicans who you don't read. You go off a hearsay or what your pastor tell you say. There is something known as chemtrail. Chem, C-H-E-M, pretty much the shortened version from chemicals. Chemicals. Chemtrails. Planes fly over the sky. As a little boy, I used to see it from my little boy. I'm a 40-year-old. I'm going to be 41 in January. From my little boy, you always see planes flying and you see that long smoke looking thing in the sky, like the plane a let out smoke. Yeah? I used to say, yeah, from the smoke I come out of the plane. And that smoke trail stays there for hours before it actually fades. Yeah? It's called cloud seeding. It's called cloud seeding. These people have been manipulating our weather. They manipulate the weather over 40 years now. I mean, they probably were doing it before me even born. But I remember as a little boy, I used to see it and used to marvel. As a matter of fact, I used to love seeing it. I didn't realize what I was love seeing. Now me a 40, me just a discover. So it was cloud seeding all along, manipulating the weather. But I just found out something that is even more dangerous. and very concerning. It's not just the weather that they were manipulating. There were also chemicals released into the air that could mess with our thinking, our thought process, our minds. You hear what me say? I don't know what is it they wanted to do to the minds of us, whether to get us irritable, constantly being irritated and angry and be violent against each other. Could be. Or is it that they wanted to make us geniuses? Yeah? To think positive and have brilliant ideas. I don't think that's it. I don't think that I'm gonna work with the first one, not the latter. This is my constructive analysis of the whole thing. The reason I'm talking about it this morning is because ever since Hurricane Melissa passed, and the bright minds, the very bright and conscious minds among us, I've been telling you that this particular weather was manipulated. You have some people on there, my youth. There's a guy who said, yo, we used to follow you in a youth, but ever since you believe, said that weather you was manipulated about by man, me have to stop follow you. Then go ahead. As a matter of fact, I have 113,000 followers. And if you believe the same way, go ahead and unfollow. And I'm dead serious. I'm dead ass. Dead serious. You know why? Because Florida and Tennessee was the first state to ban cloud seeding. The same flipping sit when them chemtrails. We're plane fly over the sky with the flipping chemical them let out in the cloud. To increase rainfall. To increase sunlight. Make places hotter than it's supposed to be. And some of you, oh, they can't do that. Man can't do that. And to mess with people's mind. Oh, by the way, these things are not so much of a secret anymore, you know. The information they write out as you click your flipping fingertip on Google and just type it in. Can man manipulate the weather? Just type in can man manipulate the weather? Or weather manipulation. Just type it in now. The time will not take to come over here, so if come quarrel with people and unfollow people because of our research. We go look it up. If you say if a bullshit or it makes sense. So I'm talking to my people who follow Marvin. Florida put together a bill. Them construct a bill to say, listen, based on what we know, this is now the government. This is now the government. Meaning the governor, the mayor, and all the other elected officials in Florida. Them come together and say, yeah, you see this cloud seeding sitting in Florida? They have no ban. They have no ban. Any plane will fly over Florida with them the chemicals are sitting. Yeah? It's now a 3rd-degree felony. Years in a prison. Why? Womek, isn't this something that's good? No! It's obvious that they have determined the dangers of it. Man, increased rainfall. So these planes, we only see a fly in a hurricane, but them a track hurricane. Eh? You know how much of them did fly in a Melissa close to Jamaica? Even one of them, the intense, it got so intense them times that them have to pull out. One of them, but there was another one in there. Who no say they were not intensifying this thing because for them, it's a scientific friggin' project. We kill off with people them. The government of Jamaica know about this. It is not flipping rocket science. The government of Jamaica know about it. The People's National Party know about it. The Jamaica Labour Party know about it. And I'm dead serious. I would like to ask the People's National Party. I would like to ask the People's National Party, and I would like to ask the Jamaica Labour Party government, please to clear the air. Is cloud seeding chemtrails, manipulating the weather, is that something that you know nothing about? Because if you don't know anything about it, neither of you should be in the parliament. Period. You know what? The fact that 2 states in America can actually ban that because they realize the dangers of it. Why should we not ban it? You know who has been very vocal about this? A gentleman in Barbados that I respect, Fred Corbin. Respect Fred. Fred has been talking about, as a matter of fact, Fred was able to track a plane that flew over Barbados just a week ago. And the flight number and everything, and where it left from, and how it walked over Barbados with their chemtrails. This is how serious that man has taken it. The flight number, the time the flight left America, he left from America, flew over Barbados with their dirty, nasty chemicals to frig up the atmosphere, our mind, our consciousness, mess with our weather. Even if it's not a hurricane, the fact that they can increase rainfall. Do you know what rainfall does to many Jamaicans here? As the rainfall, people flood out like backside. People have drowned. We never forget hurricane for it to affect us. And I have my people here. So if I was the government of Jamaica, and I noticed that this is happening, and know the very dangers, because you should have had your professionals. We have educated Jamaicans here who can do research, who can tell you of the chemicals that are in these chemtrails. And what you must do now, instead of having a flipping weatherman, the weatherman in Jamaica, what tell us, oh no, this is total heresy. About man-made storm. Hey, nothing like that. Move your backside. Every last one of uno is in the pockets of the flipping elites. A frig up a country. If I become the government of Jamaica, any plane, and I would make sure that we have the mechanisms to do so. Any plane will fly over our sky, our airspace with no chemtrails will be shot down. No warning. Will be shot down immediately. I saw it go. And protect the friggin' people them. But because I don't want smart cities, I don't want all these things, and I want to listen to the stinking elites who give you the money because I don't frig up with resources them. I want to sell the country for nothing. So I don't have no backbone, I don't have the money, I don't have the resources to stand pan. I say, you know how much people dead because of them a drug crier?
Andrew Africa now. Like no Andrew Africa. No, Andrew. Cause all your blood clot, Andrew, as long as watch social media and watch you we are black. And what we are say about you. And then a lie we are say about you. You're a wicked blood clot, corrupted, dirty big nose, pussy hole. And you have to come down. You have to come down. You see, I come and talk about you not afraid of criticism. But when you make a step, you can't make no step on me a blood clot coming in your country. I mean, I'm not a blood clot Jamaican. But born a Jamaican, I'm not a Jamaican. So my people say anything about your big nose pussy hole. Dirty blood clot shit in a plate, boy. 1 bedroom board house, dirty boy. We forgot where your blood clot come from, Andrew. We 8 years, 9 and 10 years, your blood clot. Mama will bring you come here, you poop of them. Because them bring a parasite like you in a blood clot Jamaica, make people life miserable. The old people, them eye water, they pay you, Andrew, and the baby, them eye water, they pay you. Most blood clot come down, pussy. When I ask Christ, you have come down the 8th of December, you wicked Daryl Vaz. The man asks you, oh, you're going to fund the $200 million. The man said, explain to him, oh, now I'm going to find the $200 million, I'm going to give the $1.5 million. And you're going to tell him, say, by tonight, we're not going to give JPS the $1.5 million. And so who are going to fund the $2 million? Drunk, thief in blood clot, I'm telling us our beer numbers and come give tax, come give people, you know, for thief people money, you know, drunk. The man asks a question, Mark go in India, we put him in there for asking a blood clot question. For the people that know one of them with people. I'm not going to want the man asking a blood clot question. Dirty Daryl Vaz, if you have wet rat. You're ugly a blood clot if you are drunk. Nasty wicked dirty man you call Marky G wicked. Are you wicked? Marky G never grape no little girl. analyze her and then take the man with weakness and go put him in a barrel and send him back to Jamaica to send him come
is a release from the People's National Party Media Unit.
I'm using this opportunity to call upon the government to immediately come clean to the Jamaican people regarding this controversial loan of 24 billion Jamaican dollars being extended to the Jamaica Public Service Company, and also its handling of the license negotiation. We have major concerns about this government's decision to extend such a loan in the absence of critical details. The government has failed to answer questions about the risks to taxpayers, the valuation of the company's assets, and the interest rate attached to the loan. No responsible government can commit 24 billion Jamaican dollars of taxpayers' money without stating the interest rate or the terms that protect the public's interests. Based on the government's own disclosure, if the loan is not repaid within 2 years, the government intends to convert the debt into equity. If the plan is to convert unpaid debt into shares, what is the current valuation of the assets the government will be acquiring? Has this valuation been completed, and at what date? I also want to know whether or not the JPS will be able to secure funding for the balance of US 200 million that it claims is required for full restoration of service. And I am demanding that the government disclose which state agency will disburse the funds for the loan. I believe that the government, in providing this loan to the company, should use it as leverage to secure meaningful concessions from the company. I'm therefore recommending the temporary suspension of JPSCO's monopoly on transmission and distribution during periods of national emergencies, for example, to allow neighbors with functioning solar or alternative generation to supply nearby households legally. I also believe it's a good time now for the government to enable those operators in special economic zones to generate and distribute their own electricity internally, reducing costs and accelerating economic recovery. The government's poor handling of the issues surrounding the JPSCO license is another reason for the instability that the company faces and why it cannot on its own secure funding for the full restoration. We have been urging the government since 2023 not to wait until 2027 to negotiate essential changes to the JPSCO license. There is no magic to that date. Licensing terms can be amended at any time, and we have wasted valuable years when leverage was available. We are also very concerned that the JPSCO, which has already hinted at major electricity price increase, will seek to pass on unreasonably price increases to the consumers. I am therefore urging the OUR to be proactive to ensure that there is a transparent process in determining the rate that consumers ought to pay during this period. We are also very concerned that the JPSCO, which has already hinted at major electricity price increase, will seek to pass on unreasonably price increases to the consumers. I am therefore urging the OUR to be proactive to ensure that there is a transparent process in determining the rate that consumers ought to pay during this period.
At pnp.org.jm or check us out on Facebook at Jamaica PNP.
My people, this is where it gets very, very interesting. It has come to my attention that the government of Jamaica is lending 50 million US dollar more to JPS. Why is that? Why is that, Andrew Wallace? Something in Jamaica. Something. Remember, say 80% of JPS is owned by Japan and South Korea, and 20% is owned by the government. And not only that, it is owned by the government alongside a small group of stakeholders, a small group of shareholders. Who are these shareholders? The shareholders, them private, we don't know them, We don't know who them, but it is alleged. Say, are the same ministers them when at the Jamaica Labour Party, and them are the shareholders. Una hear what me I say to you, Jamaica? Una hear what me I say to you? Because you take with $150 million US catastrophe ban and I lend it out to JPS. You a tell me say, Uno, the government of Jamaica, I tell me say Japan and South Korea have no money. That's a number one. Yeah, I tell me say none of the shareholders they have no money. Uno, the government alone have money. Something not right about this. And then Daryl Vaz, you say you do all of this because you want Jamaica to be up and running by February. But I never that Andrew Holness say. Andrew Holness say something different from you. Andrew Holness say Jamaica go up and running by the next 6 months. And that Andrew Holness say. So how that a work? How that a work? You think we are idiot? Una think say we are idiot, we not trust you. We know so we not up to something. Una not so confident for just take up so much money and lend to JPS. Remember say una the same one we say una not extend them license. So if you not extend them license, you know what, this is just crazy. This is crazy because if you not extend them license, how them are going to pay on the back? That means I wanna have other alternative then where we don't know about. That means say then if JPS no pay back the government of Jamaica, what that mean? That means that the shareholders them are going to take over. Who are the shareholders? We don't need to come forward because we want to know who you guys are.
Yesterday in the House of Representatives, Minister Daryl Vaz told us that JPS needs $350 billion US to restore the electricity grid so that people can get electricity. He said that the government is going to take $150 million US and lend it to JPS. I asked him, so what about the other $200 million US? Are we going to ensure there's a plan that puts that money in place before we risk our 150 so that the full 350 that he said is the amount required is available to JPS? At that point, he went on a tirade, calling people bad mind, heartless, and all kind of foolishness. It was a simple question, it was a logical question, and it's a question they need to answer. Because we need the grid fixed. We need it fixed as quickly as possible. It's going to cost $350 million US to do it. Only $150 million is on the table. What's the government's solution for that gap? Simple. And Minister Vaz, I have one more question. If it's $350 million US to restore electricity, and you're willing to lend them $150 million without knowing where the other $200 million is coming from, which section of Jamaica are you willing to sacrifice by proceeding without sufficient money to fix the problem? So if only part of Jamaica is going to get fixed, which parts are not going to get fixed? Because we only have $150 million and not the $350 that it will take to do the job.
My wisdom warriors, yes, I left it. I want to tell me what I think, I want to tell me how I feel about this, and put an honest opinion in the comment section. Like up the video, share it out, and subscribe to my channel. And if you're new to my channel, welcome, and big up on a nice clean self. One love.
Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. We can tell me how we can do it together. When we look at the future of precipice, we see Jamaica needs the vision of the PNP. People said the bag of promises them can't carry go shop. And the crime rate getting high. I wonder when it all goes to comrades. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather.
The proceeding was brought to you by the People's National Party.
You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister around the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right start that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them.